Yes, come on. Very close now. Oh, are you kidding me? Just... Well, I guess we can try to find out what went wrong. Well, it seems like we've got ourselves a bit of a memory leak. Okay, all silly jokes aside, now let's take a look at what a memory leak really is. So in the phrase memory leak, memory refers to random access memory, or RAM, also known as the working memory of the computer. Yes, that's right. Once again, we're talking about RAM here. Now, every single program that runs on a computer, regardless of what it does, needs a certain amount of memory to work properly. For example, let's say we have a program that multiplies a couple of numbers. So the program simply asks you, fill in a number, so you fill in the number. Then it asks you, fill in another number, you fill it in, and then you press enter, it multiplies them, and it gives you an outcome. In this case, this program needs some memory to store those numbers that you typed in, because it needs to remember those, otherwise it can't multiply them. This means that when you start this program, it will reserve an amount of memory to store those numbers. This is called allocating memory. So it will allocate some memory to store the user input in this case. Right? In this case, it's the user input, the numbers. And this program allocates a small amount of memory, right? It only needs to store some numbers. Other programs can allocate much larger amounts of memory. So maybe a text editor, or a video editor, or a game, or an internet browser. Those programs can allocate relatively large amounts of memory. So allocating memory, that's fine. That's how it goes. Nothing wrong with that. The problem is deallocating that memory. You see, when a program has completed a certain operation, it is supposed to deallocate the memory that it used for that operation. This means that when our little program has completed multiplying the numbers and displayed the outcome, it's now completed its task, and now it should delete its stuff from the memory. It should clear the memory that it's been using and deallocate it so that it can be used for other things, right? So the same thing goes for an internet browser. If you open up a new tab, it will allocate quite a large chunk of memory to do that, to run that tab. And when you close the tab, then the program, the internet browser, should deallocate the memory that was used for that tab. In other words, programs should just clean up their garbage. That's what this is all about. Sometimes that doesn't happen, and that's when you've got a memory leak. So a memory leak would be, for example, an internet browser where you open up a tab, and when you close that tab again, it just leaves the memory. Just all the stuff that was used for that tab just remains in memory, and it doesn't clean it up. That's a memory leak. Now, as you can imagine, when programs are doing this on a computer, they're not cleaning up their stuff, they're not deallocating the memory they used, then every time you close a program, that doesn't free up any memory, which means the memory starts to fill up slowly. And at some point, that will slow down your computer quite significantly, and in the worst case scenario, it can crash the system entirely. So now the question is, how do you find the memory leak and fix it? Well, finding it is quite obvious. Well, finding that it is there is obvious. You go into Task Manager, and if you see the memory usage rise for no obvious reason, well, if you have lots of browser tabs opened, then there is an obvious reason why you're using a lot of memory. But if there is no obvious reason, then it could be a memory leak. Finding the program that does it is a little bit more tricky. You will shut down the computer to clear the memory, and then you just try starting all kinds of programs until you find the one that causes the problem, and then you know that's the program that causes trouble. Now the question is, what do you do about it? Okay, well, basically there are 3 things you can do. First of all, you can update the program, because often the developers have noticed that the program has an issue, or someone else has noticed it and told the developers about it. That's more likely. And there will be an update, so you can download that, and that often fixes the problem. If there is no update, then you have 2 options left, which are to delete the program and not use it anymore, or if you really have no other options, then just keep using it and live with the memory leak, which is awful, but again, maybe you're forced to do so. Well, anyway, now you know what a memory leak is and how you can find what program causes it and what to do about it. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and of course, thank you for watching.